Let's go to Njoku.
David Njoku, not a top 10 tight end.
No.
Not a top 10 tight end.
No.
Of the moves that I disagree with the most made by Andrew Berry's regime, it's this one. Giving him the contract.
Well, I agree with you there.
I don't know what they were thinking. Let's look at the list. We'll show the top 10. He did get votes, not that matters. He did get votes, but he's paid guys. His contract is the second richest of all tight ends in the history of the NFL. And let's go to the second page, and you won't see him on that list.
Yeah, and all the guys after 6 are just guys.
They are just guys.
You know, maybe Hawkinson will end up being better. We'll see. But if you look at the others receiving votes, he finished 14th, which is middle of the pack, right? That's right in the middle. That's what he's been. He's a middle of the pack tight end.
Contract ever.
Well, if they're going to pay him what they're paying him, he better be a lot better than the 14th best tight end in the NFL. Now, I think, you know, having Deshaun, if he has Deshaun Watson, that's going to help him. But his individual game needs to improve. He hasn't played well enough. In my opinion, he wasn't worthy of that contract. We'll see if he becomes worthy of it over the next couple of years.
Can he play in the top 5 or even the top 3? Because for me, he's got to be, production-wise, he's got to be top 3 tight end for this deal to be any good.
See, I don't always equate it to the money, right? Just the timing of when deals come about. They must see that he has some upside here, right? No, seriously, I'm being serious here.
How old is he?
Because people here get paid in all sports based on potential.
They've got a nice body of work to lean on.
They see something, right?
Yeah.
I don't see teams going out and paying people they don't see anything.
I do too. When you look at him, you're like, what does this guy want? How much does he want?
So the question is,
then you watch him play.
Does he right? Can he deliver? Right.
I want to pay on tape, not product, not potential.
Some people pay on potential. Some people
Once.
pay on action.
Once.
Right?
I don't see a need to pay on potential twice.
Most of the time, you are paid off what you've done,
yeah,
not
exactly.
what's to
No,
come.
except
Look
for
at the
first
Cabrera
contract.
contract. That's a perfect example.
Well,
of what
that's
we're talking
wrong
about.
because NBA paying on potential now. That's all they paying on potential.
But I think potential should be your first contract in the league. They don't know what you're going to do at that level.
When you become a free agent, they pay on potential again.
But they're paying on performance.
No, some people
Sure
pay.
they are.
Some people pay.
We're not
8-9
paying
points a game.
Deshaun
we get
Watson
big
on
money.
potential.
Come on, Delhi got big money here. Stop playing with me.
In football, you only pay rookies based on potential.
I think
Yes. One contract.
playing with me.
Life is day to day, fellas. It's no cookie cut way you look at paying somebody. You look at your team, you look at what you have, you look and see whether or not he can fit what you want to do,
Right.
and then you make the assessment from that. If they're not going to pay any other receivers besides Amari Cooper, they're not going to bring in any other second free agent. So that told me they plan on throwing the ball a lot more to David Njoku. They moved on from Hooper. And so they want to make him a more focal part of the offense. Now, he has to go out and prove it. He has to go out and stop dropping some of the footballs. He got to be a better blocker. But, I don't have a problem if they're going to say, for what we want with our team this year,
Right.
this is what we want to pay.
But G. Bush, weren't they tight end centric last year?
They were.
Okay,
Right.
so if your offense is heavily predicated on production from the tight ends, and Hooper can't put 2 feet in a row together without tripping,
Right.
and you're not blowing the lid off of this offense numbers-wise,
Yeah.
I don't know how it's ever going to get any better.
Well, they have a better quarterback, so
Yeah,
they're going to put up more passing
maybe
numbers.
They're taking
in
that-
the first 8 games we know they won't have.
Well,
taking that
eventually
into-
they'll have a better
They're
quarterback.
taking that into consideration. I think when you look at what they did with Deshaun Watson, their thought
Good
process.
deal? You would do that deal
Their thought-
with Njoku?
Well, I guess it's 1 million, 2 million. You know me, I'm not no cap person. I don't care. I go to the cap people and say, hey, can I pay him that? Is it going to stop us from getting anybody else? No, I believe you. I'll pay y'all good money. Let me go ahead. I'll sign him for whatever it is. Whatever.
So,
we
yeah,
need.
you co-signed that deal.
I didn't think it was necessary. I do agree with G at the end. Like,
They could have franchised him.
if I'm not a capologist, if they don't think it's going to negatively affect them, then okay. I don't see how that's possible, but okay, I'm not the capologist.
Brad, you like that
I
deal?
thought it was unnecessary.
I like Njoku's potential. I do.
We've been hearing about that for 6 years.
No, but here.
I need
here,
more
but
than that.
here. We can't do 6 years. We got a guy that couldn't sling the ball, so I can't tell, right? So I'm gonna see
The few
it.
times it hit him right in the hands, he dropped
Well,
it.
yeah, I'm not saying that he was infallible here, right?
That's the proof I need.
You looking for
Man, we have
everybody here's looking
forgotten-
for the perfect
we have
solution.
forgotten the
There is no
2021
perfect
season. It
solution.
never
The one
happened.
thing I know is this: they knocking on the door, right? I'm tired.
Would you do the deal?
I'm tired.
So you're going to pay everybody as much as they want.
Sometimes I'm gonna do things differently than I've been doing them.
Was there a better way to spend that $54 million or whatever it was?
listen,
In fairness
that's
to
the problem.
In fairness to the Deshaun, to us saying, well, he'll be better with Watson. George Kittle has played with mediocre or bad quarterbacks his whole career. And
Never
puts up huge
stopped him.
numbers. That's fair.
Especially when the offense is so heavily predicated on the tight end.
Yeah.
That's a short pass typically.
I did not like the deal.
I didn't like the deal.
I
either.
hated
But
the deal.
I did not like the Njoku deal, but these are really smart guys, and clearly they felt like he could get that money elsewhere if they weren't going to get it from him. And I'll defer to my partner at the Athletic, Zach Jackson, who says all the time, listen, there's a big demand for tight ends, and there's not a lot of guys around the league that can fill that spot.
Yeah, someone likely would have paid him close. I don't know that he would have got that number, but someone's going to pay him.
Then what's the
I
problem?
think he's got.
Then what's the problem with the Browns doing today?
Because we've seen him for so many
That's
years.
exactly it.
And he
I
just-
think
I'm
the bottom line.
I'm so tired of hearing David Njoku's potential. We've
I
heard
know.
about that.
I can't
This
hear
is
about
the
it
last.
anymore.
This is,
Years.
and that's
At some
why.
point,
Well, you're
potential's
stuck
gotta
with
turn
him.
into
You're stuck
performance,
with him
or-
now.
Well, it's only 2 years
Let me
guaranteed.
tell you what I'm tired of.
Warren Sapp says potential's another
I'm tired
word
of being
for
out
just
the
saying you
playoffs.
suck.
I'm tired of the Super Bowl come up and I don't have a chance to be in it. I'm tired of that. That's what
Well, I
I'm
don't know
tired
if
of.
I don't know if
Joe-
David
I'm
Njoku's
tired
in.
of
I'm
He's
tired
gonna
of
get
that.
Brad
you
would
over the
like to
top.
donate all of the
I'm doing
all of
something
your
different.
city budget money
I'm doing
is
something
going
different
to
now.
Jimmy
I'm doing
Haslam.
something different now.
I think Jimmy Haslam is exponentially more rich than the city of Warrensville Heights.
Right.
So he can pay for everything. I think what he's saying is this. It's in business, it's opportunity cost, right?
Right.
What is my opportunity cost elsewhere? My alternative, right? If you got David Njoku right here in front of you, he's in your system, you know what he is, you know what he ain't.
Yeah.
What is the opportunity cost if you take that money and go give it to someone you don't know who it is? You don't know what he's about, and you're expecting them to come into a new offense, new city,
Right.
and do. And
There wasn't a better option.
It wasn't
at
a
the
better
position.
option.
No.
for
But
him.
you
Well,
had
no,
you
the-
could have franchised.
that was
you
the
did
better
franchise
option.
him.
Yeah, I'm not saying they
because
had to
this,
go out and sign
This
a
is his
tight
make
end.
or break. We probably should have had it already, but this is his last chance.
Yeah, this is it.
And if he plays poorly again this year, you still have to pay him next year when you didn't need to.
Right, you
It's
could've
only
paid him
2
1
years
year.
guaranteed. You could have paid it 1. I think if Njoku can get into that 5 to 8 range at tight end, I'm fine with that.
I think when his 2 years are up, this will be one of the easiest decisions they made to not pick up the third
Well,
year.
he's here. He's not going to.
I think you're probably right about
I
that.
just, unless he completely becomes Kittle's overnight, then
And
Kittle, I think, is he a top 10? No. Is he a top 15? That's even questionable.
But what
It really is.
But what they're doing, Jay, what they're doing with this is they're doing exactly what you said. You said earlier, and I thought it was a good point. Every year you don't win, contracts are getting tick, tick,
Sure,
tick,
they're
tick.
going away.
Yeah, people are getting older. Myles Garrett, Chubb, all those guys. So they're thinking of it like this. You know, I got a guy here that I know can do some stuff. I don't got time to go waste 2 years to find out about somebody. Sometimes you need somebody you already know about. If I got a young man that cut my grass, I know he ain't gonna break it up. I'm not gonna go down the street and try to find Billy because he rake up the grass and I don't know where he at. I need it done.
Some days you gotta get your landscaper and say, look, you missed the edges here. You gotta tighten that up right here.
Get that multi
But I know who you are.
He
Yeah,
hasn't
I know
changed
you
the
know who
Browns'
you are.
lives, though, in all these years. So now we're expecting him to become that guy that changes the Browns' lives.
We just want we want to know, well, first of all, you are saying that Deshaun Watson will get you better. And you project him to getting you better. But you got him here. He's here. You can work with that.
He's a piece of the puzzle.
He's a
not
piece.
He's not the puzzle.
I think the bottom line.
When a guy's the third highest paid player at his position,
Yeah.
I expect him to be a Chubb. I expect him to be a Myles Garrett.
He won't be.
I would even say I would expect him to be a Denzel Ward.
I have to.
Because those three guys
I
are.
have to push back on you on a
Push
little
back.
bit. So ask me this: the people in the profession that you're in, right?
Yeah.
How many of them are overpaid?
All of us.
So, no. Seriously.
I mean, you asked me, I told you.
The ones that are sitting here, because you got some guys in your profession that couldn't play dead at a funeral. They couldn't.
Of course.
Right.
Yeah.
That don't mean but they got the money.
Yeah, but they're not the highest paid player in the game.
But they still got the money, right?
Yeah, but Brad,
because your industry paid the money.
He would have been paid
Your
no matter what.
Your industry paid the money, right?
Yes.
All right. So there's no difference here in sports, right? It's the same thinking going on here, right? And sometimes it's better to dance with the devil you know than the devil you don't know.
I think
Not if the devil you know hasn't changed your life.
Jay, I
don't
think the
know
bottom
that.
line is Brad. I think
I
the
do.
bottom line is
I do.
David Njoku is, in my opinion, an average tight end.
Thank you.
He's getting paid like an excellent tight end. Okay? If it's a big if, I'm not convinced it's going to happen.
He's getting paid like an elite
But
tight end.
if, yes, an elite tight end,
True.
I don't think he's ever going to be an elite tight end and be worthy of that contract. However, if he becomes a good tight end where he's in that 5 to 8 range, and then at that point, he becomes only slightly overpaid and you can live with it.
Listen,
That's an if, though.
If he is
became elite,
Kittle-like with the numbers, where
Then he's worth it.
If he's 5 to 8,
Yeah.
I'd do backflips.
Exactly.
I'd do backflips.
I think that's possible.
'Cause he
I'm not
hasn't
betting
been
on
that
it.
guy.
No, he hasn't been close
No,
to
he
that.
hadn't been that guy. But Jay, what
Yeah.
if he became elite? It'd be like a good deal.
Then I would look at
It'd
the
be like-
Browns
it'd be
and I
like
would
a great
say
deal.
Smart move.
they outplayed the game.
Okay.
That was a great move.
Because
But
it's 2 years, right?
we know what
Your
he's
body
been.
work you've seen, right? I got
From what I've
I
seen,
got what you
it's
come.
not like
I got
we've
where
seen
you
him for
come
2
from.
years,
Right,
and
right.
you know
It's
he
been
had
5
Baker,
years.
and now we've got a good.
Right.
No,
I got you.
We've seen him long enough to know that he should be an elite performer.
But Jason says something. We all of them been in business. We've been here. When you look at HR, right? HR comes and they say, okay, we had this guy in our organization. Maybe he's not a superstar, but he comes to work every single day. It comes up for his review, and you thinking, man, this guy been around a long time. But guess what's going on out here? It's a job shortage. Don't nobody want to come to work right now. So when he come up, you're going to say, well, he's not really a top superstar, but we know he coming to work.
But they had him in the franchise tag. They had him on the franchise
But
tag.
here's what you want. But
Yeah.
here's the thing. You want a little more security. You want the risk reward. Because if I give him 2 years and he blow up, I got him under a good deal.
But he hasn't blown up in 6 years.
But
The odds to me that he'll blow up to the level where his contract becomes a good contract are very slim, my opinion.
okay,
Yeah.
and I'll give you that. But if they were going to the open market, right?
Right.
If you got somebody that's working at the fast food restaurant, they showing up every day,
Yeah.
and they only worker, go ahead and don't give them $18, right? Because the opportunity cost is what? Finding another person in the street, you don't know what the track record is, right?
I usually like your analogies. I don't.
There
like
were no better options. I'll give you
There
that.
were no
There
options.
were no better
See?
options at the position. I still
No.
don't think you had to pay him that much.
The
but-
option was you franchise him. That was the option.
Right.